going to be in effect from 6 p.m., which is about 2.5 hours away from right now. And that's going to go all the way out until around 7 a.m. for Monday morning, as we have the potential for some of that wintry mix and an ice potential. Before we get started, I'm going to go ahead and send out our mobile alert so that we can send out this information to as many people as possible. We've already had one system of wintry weather that happened last week, but now we're seeing a completely different system where we're no longer seeing that snow potential anymore. Necessarily, we're seeing more of that ice potential across northwest Arkansas in the River Valley. That's why the National Weather Service has put out that winter weather advisory for this evening. We'll go ahead and post this to our or send this out, this mobile alert out real quick. Let's see here. All right, we should be good. All right, we do have our live stream up, and comments will be, if you're watching from Facebook, we'll be able to see those. If you have any questions, you can go ahead and put it on, drop a comment down below so we can go ahead and answer those. All right. So we do have that winter weather advisory again from 6 p.m. to 7 a.m. for tomorrow morning. This came from the National Weather Service around about an hour ago. We've been talking about multiple systems being a potential for these next couple of days, starting tonight, going into Monday, Tuesday, and even into Wednesday. We have 3 low pressure systems that are tracking its way closer to Arkansas, and we're caught right in between some snow further up towards the north and rain further down towards the south. We're caught right in the middle where we're going to see a lot of that winter mix and that ice potential. Here's what radar looks like right now. You see that rain further down towards the south. Parts of southern Arkansas are seeing some of that heavy rain, but you're already starting to see some of that pink show up on the radar. That's that wintry mix where temperatures are dropping close to the freezing point. That precipitation is starting to turn into that wintry mix, and overnight tonight we could see some of that freezing rain that could cause some issues heading into tomorrow morning. So meteorologist Zach Scott will be with you for tomorrow morning to get you through the day, but winter weather advisory is going all the way out until around 7 a.m. So we could have some issues with the roads as you're leaving for work or as those kiddos are heading out for school heading into tomorrow morning. Let's show you exactly where that winter weather advisory has been issued. Parts of eastern Oklahoma have been left out of it, but counties like Sequoia, LaFleur County, and even into Crawford County have been portions of eastern Oklahoma have been included into that winter weather advisory, and then most of northwest Arkansas has been issued as well. The counties across the River Valley that haven't been included in that winter weather advisory are responsible from our Little Rock National Weather Service station, so they have not issued anything just yet. All this information is coming from our Tulsa National Weather Service office. We'll see here in the next couple of hours or later on into the evening if our Little Rock station does feel like they need to issue that winter weather advisory. Taking a quick look at our comments right now just to see what questions are going to be like heading into the system. We're not talking about the snow. I'm seeing a lot of snow comments so far. This is much different than the system that we had just last week, where we saw several inches of snow just in around a 24-hour period, and then we saw snow melt heading into the next day. This is going to be a multi-day event where we're going to see a greater ice potential than those higher snow total potential. So this is going to be mainly an ice event heading into the next couple of days. Let's see here. We got questions about Fort Smith right now. Fort Smith is included into the winter weather advisory, so you could be seeing some of that wintry mix and that freezing rain tonight. The greater potential right now, though, is heading across northwest Arkansas, showing you what one of our models is showing, what the greatest risk they're showing for tonight. You see 6 p.m., we're starting to see some of that pink show up on the radar. That's our wintry mix and our freezing rain. As temperatures get cooler and cooler, you see that rain stays further down towards the south, and then you really start to see that wintry mix, that freezing rain starting to pick up across northwest Arkansas, heading into the late evening hours tonight, heading into the overnight hours. Places in higher elevation are going to see more of that risk for an ice potential, but you see just how long this pink and this wintry mix is going to be staying over northwest Arkansas. We're at 10:30 right now where we first start to see it, all the way to 11:30, heading into midnight. We still have that wintry mix all the way out until 1 a.m., 1:30, all the way out to 2, 2:30, and 3:30. So we're talking about several hours where we could potentially see this wintry mix tonight. All of this depends on temperatures. If we do fall below that freezing point, which we're expected to, you see those temperatures across northwest Arkansas are hovering around the mid-20s. The reason we're not seeing as much of that wintry mix, it's not out of the question, but we're not seeing as much across the river valley is because you see those temperatures right there still above the freezing point, but hovering around that freezing point at 32 degrees. So we could see some spots that if you're a little bit colder, that's when you'll start to see some of that freezing rain coming down, and we could have some slick spots heading into the morning across the river valley. Again, our greatest potential right now is mainly across northern Arkansas, northwestern Arkansas, where most of that winter weather advisory has been issued. You see, again, we talked about how our Little Rock station for the National Weather Service hasn't included the entire portion of the river valley, just a few counties left out of there, but still, we still have some that are in that winter weather advisory. If that if that pressure system starts to dip a little bit further down towards the south, maybe the river valley could see some more of that freezing rain. But as it stands right now, it looks like northwest Arkansas overnight tonight is going to see a majority of that freezing rain. And we talked about how it could potentially be several hours worth. So by the time you wake up tomorrow morning, we've already had several hours of that freezing rain. Here's some of our risks. We got a thin layer of cold air at the surface. Again, talking about those temperatures that are going to be below freezing heading into tonight, but above freezing across the river valley as it looks right now, but below freezing across northwest Arkansas. That's what's going to cause the potential for that wintry mix heading into tonight. Multiple rounds of this wintry mix are expected. Again, this is the first winter weather advisory that we've had, and we could see several more throughout the rest of the week. Again, we have those low pressure systems lining up all the way for tonight, heading into Monday, heading into Tuesday and Wednesday as well. Slick bridges and overpasses are going to be our main concern, as that cold air underneath is allowed to freeze those overpasses and bridges a little bit quicker. If we talk about several rounds of this precipitation coming across northwest Arkansas and the river valley, let's take a look at when our greatest potentials are. So for Monday, overnight tonight, not showing up as much on this graphic, but again, National Weather Service feels that we're going to see enough to issue that winter weather advisory for tonight. Our next greatest chance for some heavy ice potential is going to be in the afternoon heading into tomorrow. You see a greater line of that wintry mix and freezing rain coming, depending on our temperatures at this time for tomorrow. Both northwest Arkansas and the river valley are going to see some of that freezing rain. So this is our second event that we're going to have. Of multiple this week. You see that last several hours as well. Talking around 1 p.m. is when we're going to start. And we're going to see 2 p.m., 4, 5, 6 p.m. Finally, it starts to push out further out towards eastern Arkansas, where they're going to see a little bit heavier ice potential. Here, though, we're still going to see some of that. As we get into 7 p.m. on Monday, that's when we start to wrap things up for ice totals. But that's not done yet. Heading into Tuesday, we have another round of wintry mix and ice potential coming. You see this is a completely different one. This is our second pressure system coming in. This one seems to be right now our greatest potential for ice accumulation across both northwest Arkansas and the river valley. I know we're talking about several different rounds here, but some are smaller than others. Again, tonight, only a few of our northwestern counties are involved in that winter weather advisory. Not all the river valleys included in tonight. We're not expecting a great amount tonight. It increasingly gets larger as we head out towards Tuesday. Tuesday morning after Monday evening's event is going to be our next one. So here's Tuesday, several hours worth. Again, another round for eastern Arkansas is going to get hit a little bit further. You see as you go across southern portions of Arkansas where temperatures are a little bit warmer, we're going to see some more of that rainfall. That's when things seem to be wrapping up. Heading into Wednesday, we could see one more round. See coming into the picture there across, moving into Oklahoma, heading into Wednesday morning. Could have another round heading into Wednesday evening across the river valley. So I know that's a lot to digest there. So let's pull up this graphic here showing you just how many rounds of ice and potential snow that we're going to see over the next couple of days. Monday night, Monday evening is our first round. Now I know tonight we do have that winter weather advisory. We're almost kind of adding another round for tonight, but Monday's the next greatest chance, Monday evening. And then we go over to Tuesday morning, heading into Tuesday afternoon is going to be our next chance of some wintry mix. And then heading into Wednesday is our third pressure system that starts to move in. So again, a lot to break down here. Just to remember that last week, completely different system than it was for this upcoming week. We're going to see several days with multiple rounds of that freezing rain and wintry mix that could cause an impact for travel, especially in the morning hours when temperatures are a little bit colder. Breaking down that timeline once again before we go ahead and answer some questions here. Again, tonight is our first chance for some of that wintry mix and freezing rain, as the National Weather Service from Tulsa has included portions of northwest Arkansas, eastern Oklahoma, and portions of the River Valley into that winter weather advisory as their term. Their verbiage that they're using is we could see freezing rain tonight, slick spots heading into tomorrow morning, especially since we saw several potential hours of that freezing rain across northwest Arkansas overnight tonight. That's going to be our main concern. Right now, we do have that winter weather advisory starting in around 2 hours from now. That's when things will start to pick up, all coming up from the south with that precipitation, reaching temperatures that are a little bit colder. That's when we start to see some of that freezing rain. Here's Monday's picture, Monday afternoon heading into Monday evening. This is our second round of some freezing rain and wintry mix. Heading into Tuesday morning, this is our third round of wintry mix and freezing rain potential. And then we have another round coming into Wednesday morning. Multiple rounds is going to be the story throughout the next couple of days. Let's go ahead and pull up radar one more time and take a quick look at our questions that we have. Radar right now, you're not going to see much. Again, we're still several hours away from this wintry mix coming up from the south. So right now, you're good travel-wise. For this evening, you'll be fine. It's not until we get into the late evening, anywhere from starting at 6 p.m. again, is when we're starting that winter weather advisory. Let's answer some questions here. Let's see here. A lot of people checking in from where they're from. That's great. Potential for power outages, it depends. If we start to get some of that heavier ice potential, that ice starts to build up on those wires, that's when they start to get heavy, and then we could see some of them starting to break. That definitely is in the potential for this storm system over the next couple of days. We saw it with our last one where we saw heavy snow come down. Different from this one, but it was that heavy snow on those lines that we started to see reports of power flashes, those blue and green color flashes in the sky. Those are those power lines starting to snap. So if we do get some of that heavier freezing rain and ice potential across those lines, we could see some potential power outages over the next couple of days. How much ice accumulation? Van Buren, it's hard to isolate one place with this system because the tracks there's multiple tracks coming through over the next several days. Just as of for tonight, heading into tomorrow morning, this track seems to be trending towards northwest Arkansas, the River Valley. If you don't start to see that freezing rain, or if you don't start to see those colder temperatures, temperatures above the freezing point, you may be just seeing a lot of cold rain tonight. But if you do start to see some of those temperatures dropping below freezing, that's when we could see that cold rain transitioning into that wintry mix, and finally that freezing rain. Do you think there will be school? Again, school districts are probably making the decision heading into the evening hours tonight into tomorrow morning. If they feel like their area has been hit with ice potential, freezing rain to where travel is going to be difficult, they'll make that decision independently. We're not, the running joke of we're going to make these snow days. It's not our responsibility. They will make their own decisions based off of where their school is located. We could have the potential heading into tomorrow morning for some schools in higher elevation or some schools hit harder with that ice potential. They might make that decision to go ahead and cancel school for tomorrow. A lot of questions about school. Again, we haven't seen, at least let me check to make sure the bosses haven't texted me about any school closings. It looks like right now there have been no updates on school closings, but again, that winter weather advisory starts at 6 p.m. in around 2 hours. After that, heading into the late evening tonight, we'll start to see some of those, some of that freezing rain and ice potential later this evening. Pulling up Futurecast one more time. This is starting around 9:30 to 10 p.m. tonight. We'll have a 10 p.m. newscast tonight. Our evening shows are not on due to football, but our next chance will be on. Micah, Jonathan, and I will be on at 10 p.m. tonight to give you the latest update. That's when we could be starting to see some of that freezing rain starting to come down across northwest Arkansas. But take a look at the temperatures here. You see, let's take a look at just, for example, Bentonville, 27 degrees. That's why we're starting to see some of that freezing rain. But if you take a look at Van Buren, 10 degrees warmer at 37 degrees. That's why right now you're starting to see some of that, or later tonight you could be seeing just that rainfall and not that freezing rain. If we dip below freezing, that's when we could start to see some of that freezing rain. This is several hours worth on this run, though, where we're seeing 10:30, 11, 11:30, midnight, all the way out until early tomorrow morning. Finally, that freezing rain starts to come to an end as it moves further out towards the east. And then we've got our next round coming right behind that, coming for Monday afternoon. We are getting together as a team. 5 News Weather Team is getting together to talk about our plan over the next couple of days. So we're going to go ahead and end it right here. Hopefully all of our questions we're going to take one more look at questions for kind of a wider look of what we can expect. Yeah, charge their cell phones. That's a big one, especially if we could see some power outages. All right, looks like we got a majority of our questions answered. Not everyone, but the big questions. Again, school closings, they'll handle that independently. And this is a ice potential, not necessarily that snow potential like we saw last week. So we're going to go ahead and call it right here. We could see some more. We could be back onto live streams later on this evening. And again, we'll be back on tonight at 10 p.m. for a 10 p.m. newscast. And Zach Scott will get you going tomorrow morning. So any questions, go ahead and send it in to us. But for right now, we're going to head and sign off, and we'll keep you updated throughout the rest of the evening.